Our conversation with Superintendent Daren Johnston of the Manor School District, brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. So graduation is held. The academic year is over, and it may have been a struggle the last 2 or 3 months, but they got through it at Manor as well as at all of our other Indiana County districts. And now we move on. Superintendent Johnston, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Wonderful. It's good to have you with us here
Good.
today. Graduation went well, I assume?
Yes, graduation went well. We did have a non-traditional commencement for the class of 2020. Of course, everything has been non-traditional since March 13th.
Yeah.
We did have a commencement ceremony where we had parents, along with graduates, come to our parking lot and remained in vehicles. We did the commencement. Were interrupted by a short blast of a storm, so we stopped for about 5 minutes. Then we reconvened the commencement, got that finished, and then we presented diplomas to each graduate. So, and we'll also have to say thank you to our faculty and staff. Our very large turnout of individuals who came and supported all the graduates, even though they could not be in the parking lot of the high school. They all remained in the parking lot of the elementary school. So once each graduate received their diploma, I appreciate the fact that they were all there to congratulate them and send them off.
I bet you there were a few horns being tooted that night too, huh?
There were quite a few horns tooted that night.
All right, so you wrap up this academic year, and I know that takes it's more than just putting up the closed for the year sign and moving on. You've got some things that you have to take care of, and one of those things is the state has said that on July 1st, school districts can open for business once again, but there's much that has to be done before that happens, isn't there?
That is true. So the new requirement of all school districts, and everyone will see for each school district in the county, and that is across the state, is that the new requirement the PD is asking us to do is to complete a health and safety plan for each of the school districts. So it's each superintendent's responsibility to take that course of action, work with their administration, along with some health specialist advice, and coming up with a health and safety plan. The health and safety plan basically is identifying to everyone what the school district will do. And, of course, with us, with Manor, we'll indicate in that plan what will take place with education and extracurricular activities should the county be in the red, yellow, or green. So we have to identify everything that we're going to do in each one of those stations. So we're in the process of meeting administrative-wise. In fact, all the superintendents in the county is getting on a meeting here shortly here this morning just to discuss and brainstorm down through the items that have to be in that plan. Once we develop the plan administrative-wise and having some input from health officials, we'll present that to each of our school boards. The school board in each district has to approve the plan before any face-to-face interaction can take place in any district. That has to be approved by the board. The plan also has to be posted on the website and submitted to PDE. So a lot to do in the next couple weeks, but we want to do that quickly, but also as safely and involve all stakeholders in our district to have input in that before we develop that, approve it, and put it out there. And again, in order for any face-to-face interaction or activities with students in our school district or any school district, that plan has to be approved by the board and posted for the public.
I'm sure by the time we get the review process through, and there might be a modification or two that you have to make, at some point you're going to say, okay, we have a plan in place, and school is going to look a lot different this year than it ever has before. Some of the school superintendents we've talked with have put together some sort of a hybrid plan that would have certain students in school on certain days and certain students receiving online instruction on certain days. Is that sort of the direction that Manor might go?
Yes, that is the direction that we're creating the draft. And again, we're just at the beginning stage of drafting it with our administration. So we're looking at things for our district, such as if we're in the red, none of us would certainly be here. We would be doing remote learning, as we have done since March 16th in the district. If we go to yellow, we would certainly have some type of hybrid model, meaning that we would stagger groups of students into the district and then also still remain working with them remotely if they're not physically in our buildings. And then in the green phase, looking at we will open our buildings up with all of our students. They'll just see some things that's different that we've done when it comes to disinfecting, social distancing, and that type of thing. But those are the types of things we are looking to put in our red, yellow, green safety and health plan.
I'm sure there will be obstacles that have to be overcome. The plan that was just completed, or the school year just completed, was done basically on a let's patch it together and get through the school year. Now you've got time to look at things and develop them a little more. What are some of the lessons that you learned over the last 3 months that you can use to develop this plan for the coming year?
Sure. So one of the things that we did learn, and of course that's in any one of the rural districts in the county, and that is just the access to broadband. So we have asked our residents in our district to also fill out a survey that's online. We've asked them to complete that. You've probably heard from the county commissioners how they're working ahead, along with Representative Struzzi, to try to address that problem of broadband internet. So I appreciate all the collaboration and work trying to get internet out to the rural areas. We also knew, too, as a district, that we did not have one-on-one device for every one of our students on March 13th. As of today, we do have our board last month approved a technology purchase that will include additional 265 Chromebooks, which they're already here in our district. Our technology department's getting those ready. The remaining Chromebooks that we had will provide the opportunity that we will have a one-on-one device for every one of our students starting on August 26th, our first day. We're also in that plan that was presented and approved by the board last month is that we are putting access internet antennas on all the exterior of our buildings. So even though we are moving as a county towards trying to get broadband internet out to rural areas, we know that that's not going to happen with the flip of a switch. So one of the things that we thought that we could help would be to put that internet access on the exterior of all of our buildings so that if someone did need to drive up to any one of our parking lots, they could work from a vehicle from their Chromebook and access the internet. So those are just some of the things that we've looked at that we knew by going through this that we didn't have in place. I also, again, have to applaud the faculty and staff and the transition that we learned that we did not have all of our teachers trained in Google Classroom, but they met us at the plate, so to speak, and worked very hard to establish that all of our classes were on Google Classroom. We will continue using Google Classroom. In fact, our teachers are working through even becoming certified in Google Classroom. So in addition to them teaching, they're also going through learning themselves.
Sure.
So that we get to a point that we're all Google certified in Google Classroom too.
School district superintendents and business managers are going to have to, from now on, have really a keen eye on technology and on the need to update and upgrade and replace technology in a big way. All those different devices that are being sent home with students are going to have to be replaced, and probably on a pretty regular basis. So that's something that maybe budget-wise you might not have thought of 12 months ago, but all of a sudden it becomes a priority, does it not?
Absolutely. So the board did approve for the purchase of the items that we presented to them, being external antennas for internet, the additional Chromebooks. All that came out of capital reserve funds that we had because we did not place that in our 2019-2020 budget. But we also know that we have to be able to transition in the future so that we know the best and ideal situation is to have all of our students under our roof. But should we ever encounter the yellow or red stage again, we have to be ready so that it's just that students and teachers will know that we're switching and that they will not be in buildings and have that access. So you are correct. We will have to come up with a 5-year plan that we recycle going through providing Chromebooks and things of that nature. Just for example, we purchased an additional 265 right now, but we had 500 and some odd Chromebooks already in the district. and those were purchased in increments too. So we'll have to establish in our budgets in the future that 200 and some Chromebooks get replaced each year, just to keep recycling back through and making sure that we have the proper devices in every student's hand.
Meanwhile, you're looking at a summer here ahead of you where you're thinking about the traditional things that a school district might be considering. How does athletics work into this? And sure. When we get our athletes back on? And is there a fall sports season? Is there a winter season? All of those things have to be resolved. The transition of students from one building to the next, in your case, it's basically one connected building, but from one wing of the building to the next. That must occur, and new students have to be welcomed in, and there are different issues when you're talking about little kids basically coming into the school environment, and when you're talking about students transitioning to the high school as well, and those things have to be resolved.
Absolutely. So as we go through the next 2 weeks, our plan will be to present our health and safety plan to our board on June 25th. If they feel comfortable with it, they'll approve it. And in that plan, those are still questions that we're going through yet this week and next week. Quite a few sections to that plan, even to the point of what are the extra precautions and extra measures we're going to take to clean and disinfect our building. For example, we've already talked with our teachers and staff, indicating to them that we are doing basically a haul out of our buildings, meaning that it's very easy to collect things and hoard things, lack of a better word. So all of those things have been addressed already, telling teachers that they need to go through their items, which they have. So actually, if you walk around our buildings now, you'll see some of our classrooms have definitely been gone through, and a lot of things are gone. Just things that we used to keep aren't there anymore, just to make it easier to disinfect. Also talking about when students enter the building, and on August 26th, some of the things that we've got to discuss is, are we going to suggest face coverings? Are we going to require face coverings? And we all have to get to a point that we feel comfortable as a district as to what we are going to say or require or suggest. So those are still questions that we still have to answer as we go through our plan. Again, we hope to have that finalized by June 25th. So absolutely. A lot of things will be different, and everyone says the new norm. That will be part of Penns Manor's new norm.
My goodness. Have to basically strip it down to the old vanilla box concept and start from scratch.
Absolutely.
All right, well.
But it is our intention, our plan, that we are in the green, and we will open on August 26th for the first day.
So good plan. We appreciate that so many people are working so hard on it, and you've got a lot to do. So we'll let you get right to it. I know you've got a meeting coming up. Superintendent Daren Johnston, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Todd, and always we appreciate the support that you give the comments. We appreciate it.
Wow, it's a good school to cover. They all are. Have a great day today.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
There's Daren Johnston. He is the superintendent of the Penns Manor School District. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160 and 101.1 FM.